What's up, guys? I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little couple minutes to get some people in here. All right, so we had 8 people. So tonight we're going to talk about holding more gross. But I really want to try to get some more interactive training. One of the things about this program is that I actually need you guys to talk about the things you want me to talk about. Otherwise, I just get up here and talk, right? And that's not solving anything for me or for you. So we got 11 people in here today, which is pretty great. We got a bunch of people. I want to talk about holding gross, but also I thought we'd put out their lead generation topics. So what I'll do tonight is kind of I need you guys to put some comments in here instead of just saying what's up and let's go and that stuff. I appreciate that. That's cool. But ask some questions about gross that we can answer. Let's do some interactive training. Let's do something live. I'm going to talk about the topic of holding more gross. Obviously, the whole purpose of holding more gross is to make more money. So we'll talk about that for a couple minutes here. I don't know how your guys' pay plan is. Some of you guys are based off of units. Some of you guys are based off of, there's flats, whatever. I don't know how your pay plan works. My particular pay plan, I had to fight for. When I went into rehab, I was only getting, can you turn that down a little, Kevin? I was only getting I can hear myself. When I went into rehab, my pay plan was 20%, right? And then you had to hit the at 6, then at 10, whatever. I mean, there was different bonuses in there. It was just kind of like a weird pay plan, and I didn't think it was that amazing. I did all right. The first few months I did 10, 15, 18, 22, 27. So I never had an issue where I didn't hit the gross, or I didn't hit the unit bonus, and I didn't get my gross. So I didn't have that struggle. JP, you probably had the same similar pay plan as I did. But when I got out of rehab, I want to talk about the decision. When I came back, I said, man, if I'm going to do this, and I already sold 27, I didn't know if I could sell cars, what was going on. I said, I need to have a pay plan that's structured, that's going to benefit my workload. So this is going to be kind of 2 things I want to talk about. Depending on where you're at, can somebody tell Pam in that box where we're at right now? Depending on where you're at in your pay plan, or what you can do, or how many cars you're selling, you can basically write your own ticket. I knew I was going to be good. I came back on the regular pay plan, and I did that for about 45 days when I saw what I was doing. Then I switched over to a different pay plan. I had 30%. It was 30% commission. It was 25% commission, 25% at up to $12.99 and under gross. $1,300 to $3,000 was 30, and then $3,001 and up was 35%. Then I got on a 30 car a month, I got a $3,000 bonus. Every 5 it went up 500, 35, 40, 45, so on and so forth, right? So if I hit 35 cars, I also got an additional $3,500 bonus. But here's the key: for me to make that pay plan work, I had to hold gross. So what I did was I held, I think 4,000 a copy, like 4,100 a copy, and that was only on the front end. I had some huge things. We're going to talk about a couple of things that I did that. So some of you guys obviously I don't know if you get paid on the front or the back. Okay? And if you guys want to put down in your comments or 35%, that's a good pay plan, Josh. That's strong. It's basically the same thing that I had. I want to pull up some more. How do I see more comments? Do you know? Or it just doesn't work that way?
I think they go in real time.
So I can't see the old ones?
No.
Okay. I guess I can't catch up these comments. Maybe Jake would go back and read it. But anyways, so the difference, let's talk about the difference in gross, depending on your pay plan and the structure that you get. And then put some questions in here about how we can do it, okay? I only got paid on the front end. But here's the deal. the front end gross is obviously the gross that you hold from holding back on the trade, from the trucks, from rebates, anything above what the car's owned for, less pack, less pack, all that stuff. You're able to get on there. That's a front end gross for some of you new guys. The back end's obviously F&I, the finance charges, the aftermarket products, the tire, wheel, accidental, life, all that stuff on there. Now I didn't get the luxury of doing that, getting paid for that, but I will tell you guys I was the highest grossing. Because I got some spiffs off it, but I was the highest grossing back end that we could do. And the reason that I thought this was important to me was because I knew that if the dealership, and I'm big on it, if the dealership didn't win, then I didn't win, right? My friend was the finance guy. I wanted my deals done first, so I had to make sure that I pre-sold all the stuff. I did get $200 spiff on the Xylons and stuff like that, but I wanted to make sure that I left enough room, enough leg in there for him to do that. And it basically comes down to, we're going to talk about a couple different things here. It comes down to the psychology, and it comes down to the rapport. Okay? If anyone's got any questions in here. I like you guys' pay plan stuff in here, but I'd like to get some questions as well. It basically comes down to rapport, okay? And a couple other questions I got to write down as I think here. The deal that I did this weekend, this was his sixth car that he bought for me. His first car that he came in, what did I sell him? Oh, he came in his old beat up Packard station minivan, and he came in. I called him past a bunch of people. I got him on the phone. I built good rapport with him over the phone. It was during football season. He ended up liking the Packers. I don't really like football, period, but we built some rapport on the phone. When he came down, I literally treated the guy like a millionaire. I literally opened the door up for him when he got done. I did this with a lot of my customers. I always talk about how I flew through the deal, but it was the little things that I did to hold it. I opened the door when I met him. If I knew there was a particular client coming in, I'd already asked, because I did my homework, what car are you going to be driving so I can look for you, who are you going to be bringing with, and I kind of knew the window of time. I would go out there. How do you hold gross when they have a negative trade? Write that down, would you? I would build it right from the start. I'd open the door. I'd be greeting them with a firm handshake, or like a dominant handshake. It was always for me, unless it was a woman. Though if it was a woman, I'd use my charm every time. I would always be complimenting her off the top. I knew that if I could make these people feel good off the start, it will be easier to get through the deal. That simple, right? A couple other questions. So then we go through the deal. We'll talk about some questions I asked on the phone, obviously. So I talk about this all the time. When I'm on the phone, I'm asking them a question, and I say, you go to the lawyer, you got to make an appointment. You go to the doctor, you got to make an appointment. You go to have dinner with your girlfriend, your husband, fiance, you got to make an appointment, right? I'm no different. And because of that, I want to give you the most exceptional service that I can. Let's do a little fact finding right now. I want to find out your needs analysis, your wants, what's going on, who's coming with you, what's your previous buying experiences were like. Because if you were like, you bought a car 5 years ago and that guy treated you like crap, I want to make this exceptionally special for you, right? I want to go above and beyond for you. And I try to open up all these little other fact-finding questions about them. Okay, so that's the key that I want you to understand. It's not about the car at this point. It's not about the deal. It's about them. You're on the phone. You're building up some time with them. You're getting to know them. What are you smiling at back there?
So well, loves your V-necks. V-neck swag, boom.
So you start with that. You ask those questions. What was your previous buying experience like? Do you struggle with coming into dealerships? I know it sounds crazy, right? But you start opening up these conversations. You're offering them up the times, the previous times. You're locking down the appointment. But after you get done with the locking down the appointment, there's a couple other things that you want to do. Not only at that point did I lock in the appointment, but then I went into saying, hey, you know what? I just want to let you know that we're going to solve all your problems. Anything that you have, I'm going to be able to be here. I'm going to be transparent, open, and honest for you. And let me just remind you, and I'll show you when you come in, I am the top salesman, not only in my store, but in my group. And as a matter of fact, I'm in the top 1% in the United States. I'm a professional, and I'm going to treat you like a professional, and I'm also going to take care of everything that you need. And their initial thing is, oh, does that mean you sell a lot of cars, right? You're probably really good. Of course I'm good. Remember when I talked about people that want to buy from winners, or how people want to buy from winners? You set the stage. You set the precedence right there. Boom. That's off the appointment, okay? Those few little tweaks right there that I just talked about are the easiest way for when they come in to make the deal go smoother. Obviously, then we do the closing questions. You guys know. What are you going to be driving? Who's going to be coming with you? Can I make this special with any coffee, Red Bull, cigarettes, marijuana? No, I never said that, but you know what I'm saying? You can ask whatever questions that you want at that point. So let's go then into, you guys, let me read a couple questions here.
Cupid's question, how do you hold more gross on a negative trade-in?
how do you hold more gross on a negative trade-in? I mean, here's the issue though, Cupid. Not everyone's going to hold back. So I know in your particular marketplace that you're talking about, that you told me about yesterday when we spoke, that you're dealing with some bad credit, some lower credit, stuff like that, okay? So one of the things that I would do, because I think how I would handle that is, since you have a buyer that most likely has to buy from you, right? Because they're already in a credit, I'd go like this. You know your credit better than me. I don't have to tell you that, but you're here for a reason. I'm going to help show you the cars. I'm going to give you a couple options. I understand you don't want the one, but this might be the only one that you can get. Now, the reason what I want you to understand is, going into that, you need to do the homework. So they have a negative trade-in. You're going to have to find a car. Obviously, it has a bunch of gross that could eat some of that up. And the other thing you have to do is fight for every single dollar. I mean, there's nothing I can tell you besides asking, is there anything else you can trade in? Can we get a cosigner? Do you have a 401k you can pull some money out? Don't be afraid to ask different questions, because you got to frame the deal and structure it so that you can win, okay? I don't really know, how do you hold gross when everyone has supplier employee pricing? Well, Zach, so I don't know if that answers your question. You comment it back in here. What's Ryan Smith saying? First of sales month, we're 3-pounder, 4-pounder, both great minnows, whole gross due to rapport following the process of a great demo to test drive. Right, see, so what Ryan Smith just said in there is he set up the whole deal and he built their value in it the whole time. He probably already had a relationship with these guys, made them feel good. That when people like you, they're not going to they don't try to beat you down too bad. Or it becomes a game where they do beat you down, but they beat you down with a smile, and it's easier for you to converse back and actually stop that and say, nah, man, I don't want to get fired. I can't do that. I've said that to somebody before. Whew. Man, you guys got me on this one. I just gave you $200 off. My manager's going to probably fire me. I went above and beyond, but the truth is I had an 8-pounder there, right? And I gave him a couple $100 off because it felt good, and I didn't care if that came out of my pocket because I knew what I was making. Okay, so I'm not saying that you got to fight for every. One of the things that I think other sales guys do, and maybe I'm wrong, is they want to fight for every last fucking dollar that's in there, right? And you should at times. But if you feel that you know what's good in the deal, you know that, and you can give up $100 here or whatever. I mean, I've never given up thousands of dollars, but my point is, I would gladly give up $200 to know that I'm going to get $2,500 in my pocket. It doesn't matter. They can take it out of my cut. I don't care. That's just me. That's just the way I did it. Let me go back to what size necklace is that? If you know where you're headed in the process, does that help hold gross? Because they know you are exactly. So Tony, I'm going to back up to Zach's and then I'm going to get to yours. How do you hold gross when everyone has supplier and employee pricing? Obviously, if they don't have a trade-in, most likely these people come in. It's going to be a new car. It's going to be quick. It's going to be easy. It's going to be financeable. You're going to rock and roll. There isn't a whole lot of gross to be there. Now, I said something in one of my shows that I did earlier today where we talked about when I did every deal I did, whether it was a 8-pounder, 6-pounder, 3-pounder, $800, or just a loser because it was a loser deal that we had to move an inventory, or it was a brand new car that I had to give out employee pricing to, I didn't really care. Okay, you have to understand that you're going to have some minis, you're going to have some bad. You got to take the good with the bad, and you got to build a solid foundation to who you are. The truth to overall gross is that big number at the end of the month. It's the Tony Tito Washington checks. It's a $20,000 paycheck, a $28,000 paycheck, which you're really holding gross for, right? It's not in every deal. So what I can tell you is, don't get caught up on that. Do the best service you can. Deliver, over-deliver, overcompensate for everything. Make them feel good. Those guys are probably going to still think there's more money because a Honda or something down the road has more money off of it. But you know that you can't. You have nowhere to go. Take the good with the bad, make them feel good, burn it, put a check mark, put a check mark on the board, and then go find something else with gross. The truth is, you've got to build that pipeline full. I think I had some ratio for me where it was like, for every 3 new cars that I sold, I had 1 huge gross, and that was out of a used car. Right? We had the luxury. If you're a new car guy, you really don't have a. And I guess you just got to do what they say, I guess. But we're missing one fact. Hold them back on the trade. So this is one of the most important things, and it was the most, I think, what made me successful. And we can actually bring my manager, Ron Hutter, on. Okay, so let's just say I can think of one particular deal where he had a pickup truck and he wanted to put 10.5 into the truck, right? Or 10.5 is what he wanted me to hit him with. So what he really put into was probably, 13.5. Right? He probably put ACV for 13.5, wanted me to hit him with 10.5. I said, and this is when I started feeling really confident. I said, 10.5, huh? I think I can get this thing for lower. Let me write up my own numbers. And he said, no, you can't write up your own numbers. I said, well, watch me. And I grabbed, because we used a Foursquare at this time with a green Sharpie. I wrote it up. I went in at $8,000 for the truck that he wanted to give me 10.5 for, right? He wanted me to offer for 10.5. I went in at 8, and we settled at 85. I got 2,000 more. So what I'm telling you is it becomes confidence in the sale, which will lead you right into what Tony Tito Washington is saying. Okay? When you know where you're going and you're competent in the sale and they can read it and they can see it, nobody wants to dictate you off your game. It's kind of like watching a basketball game or a football game. When someone's just really on, people kind of sit back in awe and they watch it. When you're flowing, your pen's where it needs to be, the paper's coming out where it is, your presentation, your words aren't stumbling, the demonstration goes great, you show them the full show. You're going through the process like intact because you've done it over and over and over. They don't really stop you because you're so in your game, you're so in your zone. All right, Justin Van Dyke. Hold on, I'm going to read this one here. Just don't buy into that. Our biggest competition does that. There's 50 minutes away. It does not slow us down. Good point, Ryan. Does working at a faster pace help hold more gross? I only knew one pace, and that was wide open. I liked multiple deals going on at one time. I think if you're confident, and you're confident in yourself, in the process you're doing, I think you can work at a faster pace, and I think that your words, you get them in the ether a little bit quicker, and the number presenting goes a little bit quicker. When you go through the closes, it's going to be, we're going to be 2,000 down. It's going to be 72 months. It's going to be a $480 payment. We're giving you 10.5 for your trade, or however you guys do it, which is going to bring it down to $480 a month. Between $480 and $500 a month. Here's a pen. Lean on the pen, or whatever close you use, or just lean over and hand them on the pen. That's a great one. You circle the one they're going to have. You're going to want however you present your numbers. I think, yes, it can hold more gross because obviously you want to get them on the first pencil. But I've also, on the flip side, know some guys that sell 8 to 12 cars. They're not moving very fast. They got you there all day. They're probably inviting you to their freaking quinceañeras or these parties that they have, right? Everything that they do. And they've built so much rapport with the people. And the gross is huge. So I guess there's two sides of the coin. I would say figure out what style works for you and then just continue down that one. For me, it was multiple deals all over the place. What happened there was I'd be working one here, working one there, working one there. And I'd get him into finance, and then the managers would come over, and they'd be like, oh, Mark's the man, he's a machine, you like him? And I'd come back and check on him, and boom, we'd get him into finance so quick. So I guess they kind of catered to me at the end because I was a machine, I guess. All right. How can I generate more leads? I use Facebook. What else can I do? All right, Cupid, did you get into the program? I know this isn't on lead generation, but tonight I want you to look at a couple things for your audience. Craigslist, okay? And a lot of these guys can put in the chat box exactly how to do it. Craigslist is going to be easy. It's going to be going through searching for a seller and try to turn them into a buyer. How do you do that? You go through and you find whatever cars are selling. Maybe it's a Mazda. Maybe it's a Ford Ranger. I don't freaking know what's out there. But you send them a text message and says, hey, man, that's a great truck. Love the truck. Do you ever think about selling the truck to a dealership? 3 things are going to happen. 1, they're going to tell you nothing, not answer. 2, they're going to tell you to get fucked. Or 3, say, yeah, I thought about it, but I'm never going to get what I want. This is just an opportunity, okay, Cupid? It's an opportunity for you to then open it up, do your sales pitch to get them down just for the appointment or for purchasing the car or whatever. That's one way. The second thing I want you to – I want to know your demographic a little bit. The second thing that I would do if I was you and you want to target a different buyer, okay, this is actually something that I learned here a while back. And similar to my employee benefit program – but I think what was killer about this, and Ryan Smith, you could probably attest to this, a couple of you guys back here, because you were down at the Six-Figure Sales Conference, Jonathan Dawson, and then I thought had a great idea, and it made a lot of sense. We got sitting talking about it at dinner. He's got these apartment complex flyers. You sell, basically, you're going to offer them a party. You're going to network the same way we do the employee benefit flyer. You're going to offer them a party fund. You're going to give them some money. But the truth, you just need to distribute out your flyer. You need to get to those people. Every car you get back, you're going to kick back into the fund. But the reason why I think this one is so amazing for certain people that have a certain type of demographic is you have lower income housing people or you have higher income housing. Whether you live in an apartment or not, you have to take I shouldn't say that whether you live there or not. You have to have a credit check. It's going to kind of narrow it down that way. You're going to know. So if you know this certain particular Section 8 housing or whatever, you might want to stay away from that one. But my point is, or maybe you do want to go there. I don't know. Maybe they got some special government funds or whatever they can get. What I'm saying is you got to find your perfect audience, which you can go back, your ideal client, and target them and go exactly where they're at. That's 2 ways right there. The other one is obviously Facebook ads, Facebook videos, liking, comment, sharing, going through these. The Facebook Marketplace I know has been pretty good for a lot of people. Alex Gamez says, try to have a small Facebook group. Yeah, the small Facebook group is, you could do that for your communities. You could put those together. But I think the small Facebook group is cool for, like retaining your customers. Because things are going digital now, right? So when I was doing these these referral flyers and all this stuff, man, I had to actually go through the labor and put them together and mail them out. And, well, I ended up paying somebody to do that. But my point is, now everything's all digital. With the Facebook group, if you can take and corral all your people into one place where you're the lead, for instance, in this group, how you guys are all here and I'm the top guy, you do the same thing, only you put them into your place, but you're putting your incentives and their rebates. You're asking if anyone needs help with anything with their car, and you're just adding them to the groups. They don't even know they're in there. And you call it, who said that question? I don't know who said that question. Alex's tribe or whatever, right? All right. How long have we been going here? So we got 20 people on here right now, which has been great. What else do we want to talk about? Oh, so back-end growth, or maybe not back-end products. I would like to know how you guys actually set that up, and when you set that up in the deal, because this is about holding more gross if you get paid off front and the back. When I was selling the Xylon, or it's now called Zeridium, or all the back-end products, so I really focused on that one. It was a $2,000 product. When I would sell that thing, was pretty much from the beginning. When we'd walk out, because we had it in the showroom in the car, like, oh man, see that spray paint on that car? That's crazy, right? I'm going to tell you guys about that later. Wait, you can touch it. You can scratch it off. Like I do like the takeaway clothes off the bat. Look at that. That's crazy. I'm going to tell you about that later. You know what? Go ahead and take a look. Because they look at it, draws their attention, pattern it up, then you take it back. You can scratch that. Oh, that's cool. I'll show you that again in a little bit. Let me show your car. You're going to want this on there as well. Okay? So I planted the seed there. Every time I'm going through something for the back end, I sold a Porsche with that only had one key, right? And the Porsche key was like $3,000, I think, to get a new Porsche key. I said, man, you're going to really need this wheel and tire and key replacement, okay? It's going to be so much cheaper for you just to take this replacement, whatever it is, versus buying the new key. I'm sorry, it's a used car, But it's another seed that I planted because I already knew they're going to need it. I knew they're going to present it to them. The other thing that I did, which was huge for me for holding gross for the back end guys, was I never stayed away from APR. Everyone, I wasn't scared of the number. I wasn't scared of the incentive, or wasn't scared of the rate. I would say, you know what, I'm seeing as low as 0% right now if you qualify, and I'm seeing as high as 29.5. I don't know where you're going to fall in the middle, but right now I'm seeing Wells Fargo coming in around 6 to 7 for a mediocre credit score. You don't even know what mediocre is because I don't know what mediocre is because I'm not a credit analyst or a F&I guy. But my point is, I already planted the seed and I put it somewhere where I knew it was going to be high because I wanted to leave some back markup. And probably by judging off the car they're looking at, whether it's a new Silverado or something like that, then I would kind of scale my range. The reason I did that was because then it kind of didn't want to set expectations too high. Like, oh man, I'm going to get that 2%, I'm going to get that 1%. When in reality, they're qualifying for a 6 or 7. So that was a couple of different ways that I would hold gross or leave some leg for the back end. Let's see what else we got. We sell the full bump and the finance manager gets paid for nothing. We don't get back end either. So, yeah, I guess one of the biggest keys though about holding more gross is obviously inside of holding back the trade, right? Holding back on the trade. There is no secrets to this. It's just how do you do it? I think you got to really go to work and work on your presentation for holding back. The silent walk around, I mean, I should probably find that. Maybe I'll do one on the silent walk around. But the silent walk around, I didn't really necessarily do it so silent. Like, I know they're always like, well, walk here and touch this and look at that. Like, no, I straight up went out there and built some rapport in their car. Like, oh man, this thing looks fun. Did you ever go off-roading on this thing? I bet you, like, if it's a Ford, did you ever go off-roading? Did you jump it? Right? Like, I was asking some silly questions like that. And the reason I was doing these things, I was getting the guy to open up because I'd been building rapport myself the whole time. And the process and all that, then I'm going to use it against him in the way because it becomes down to a psychology battle. dude, I can't give you $45,000 for that car. You freaking jumped that thing out at Lake Havasu, right? So my walk-arounds were a little bit different. Then it was, yeah, you're right. But, shoot, I should have told you that. It is what it is, but you told me. What else we got here?
Josh had a good one. I'm trying to get him to write it back and I didn't catch it quick.
You guys want to go ahead and dump a couple more questions in there? Obviously, tonight, too, I want to apologize to you guys for being late. My ex-wife, my son's mom, is going back. She's going away for 5 days to have another cancer surgery. So trying to get my kids situated. There's 2 days left of school. And then my day just been kind of messed up. So I apologize, but I still showed up for you guys 15 minutes late. But I appreciate you guys for hanging on there. I hope that those of you guys who watched the replay, I'm thankful for all you guys as well. And then also, I want to remind you guys that if you don't have any questions or I'm unavailable or something pops up, Chris just made a good point there. Chris Fukel, thanks for chiming in, Chris. I drive the trade with them. I never drove the trade, but I did drive it to get the appraisal on it, but I never drove with them. I wonder what that's like, because I bet I would like to actually hear your story on that. Maybe we should do it, but I bet you could hear some stories, right?
What's a good close when you're holding back on a trade and your customer knows if he can get more somewhere else?
All right. So you're going into the dude's like, man, I know I can get $7,500 down the road here. I'm going to straight back. Well, then what are you here for? Okay? So this comes down to confidence. Well, what are you here for then? I'm not going to run to a manager. Oh shit, he can get $7,500. He can get $7,500 more, or not $7,500 more. He gets $7,500. We're offering him $7,000. What am I going to do? I'm fucked. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this. Let's try to say, well, what are you here for then? Because I don't want to say all buyers are liars, but if you tell me right now, I actually have to go tomorrow and get a Porsche appraised at Cunis, and I know that I want $20,000 for it. But I know they're going to give me 18. Of course, I'm going to tell them I can get 22 down the road somewhere else. It's going to work the same way, right? I mean, that's just how it's going to work, because I want 20, and I know I can get it from them. But my point is, you don't know if it's true. You have them in your showroom right now. You're building the rapport with them. So you can't be afraid. There's something I want you to remember. You don't have a deal until you have a deal. Okay? Don't be afraid to be confident. Ask them, well, what are you here for? Is it you must like my truck better, or maybe I got a particular used truck, I'm trying to make this work for, I might be able to do a little bit better on the trade, but let's just concentrate on what we're really here for, because ultimately at the end of the day, if you don't love the truck you're buying, what I give you for the trade, what your payment is, none of that stuff really matters. So I'm going to bypass, I'm going to move on. The other thing I would do is, I would ask them, well, then show me, man, let me see him. Did you already go down there and get appraisal? Well, let's just run down there together. I've asked the guy that because they said it before. Usually they're just trying to dig a little bit deeper. You've got them in your store. We know that it's 1.3, right? I think the average sales or average person goes to 1.3 dealerships, which means, yes, he may be able to get it there, but because of the internet, because of the way that things are working right now, they're in front of you because they want to buy. So what that means is it's not at the point right now where once you get them in, you have a more likely chance of closing down every single time. Got to go. My 5-pound Facebook fish just showed up. Sign. Way to go, Wayne. You're the man. What do we got? What do you do when your dealership puts all the vehicles $2,000 back at net and sometimes more to be able to bill gross? So I guess, Daniel, that becomes a situation with the dealership. I don't know that I can give you the answer to that. Because we didn't do it that way. We did it. We just did it. We held gross and we did it. So I guess what I would do is I would then go to my management and I would say, look, man, I understand and this is where we're at. I'm a little too smart now. I want to understand the theory of the process behind delivering this car. Sure, I can go prospect. I can get the people in. I can do everything. But ultimately, if we come down and our numbers don't work, we don't have anything. So you're expecting me to perform a miracle for you. I need you to give back to me and let me help you sell the car. Show me how you want me to do it. Talk to me about it, right? Because you're ultimately not allowed to adjust your prices. So something like that, or you aren't, the manager is, or whatever. I would ultimately get with the manager and find out what the purpose or what you can do on each deal. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Daniel, just rereading that question, you just gotta sell the car. You got to build as much value in you as you can. I had a guy one time, and my desk when I got back from rehab they put me close to the management desk, and I kind of liked it because I kind of got off on the fact that some of the shit, like if I had audience, I'd perform better, right? So we'd be selling a car, and I present the number, and then I'd actually stretch it off, and I wrote another 2,000 on top of it, and he's like, "What's that for?" I said, "Dude, you're gonna pay for me, man. I'm gonna take care of you for the next 2 to 5 years, okay? You're gonna come back, you're gonna want me yet, right? Do you agree I'm worth $2,000? I think I'm worth more than that." And I never got that, but what I did do when I did that was I showed so much confidence in myself that they had an easier time justifying the numbers. I don't know why. Only one time did it work against me, and the guy told me I was a cocky, arrogant prick, and he left. What's the best way to hold gross over the phone on an out-of-state deal? So usually, Chris, on something like that, on your cards, you know your car better than that, and because I know your inventory, they are probably looking at your truck for a reason. So, yes, they can find some comparables. Yes, you can do that. So what I would do, obviously, to hold the gross over the phone if you're going to get there is, I would just make sure that I bought the car right. The word tracks I'm saying is you like the car, you got to build the value, and you got to build value in yourself. Can I do the free delivery for you? Or not free delivery or whatever. What can I do to make this easier for you? This is my car. This is my nut. This is what it is. You wouldn't be looking over here if you didn't like this car or this truck. That's a tough one, man, because be honest with you, the majority of the deals that I've ever had to do over the phone were new car deals. I sent a Pontiac Solstice down to Indiana one time. The dude paid full bolt for it, and it was like the only time that ever happened. But typically every time on the phone, they already were coming in. They already knew what they were going to get, and what they really wanted that vehicle. There was something they wanted about it. Then they're going to pay for it. Otherwise, they'd already have me blown out of the water. So, unfortunately, on that one, I don't know how I would hold gross. I would just negotiate the deal, make sure I left myself some profit margin, move it on, and make sure I'm in the black. How do you get a 750 beacon score to purchase, add bump, and not lose gross? Well, I guess I don't know how many of your 750 beacon scores you've had to deal with, but it all comes down to the process, man. It all comes down with the rapport you build. It all comes down to what is going on with the customer. Cupid, it's a 750 beacon score isn't exactly gold, right? They're not at 808. They're not there. So there is some room there. They're just regular people who pay their bills. Build a rapport in them, find their hot buttons and what they like from you, and bypass it, and just put all your presentations together. I always like to present the payment, not the number. If you can get them to go on payment, you're going to hold more gross every single time. Oh, talking a lot tonight. All right, guys, I'm gonna give you like another 3 minutes, 3 minutes. You guys got any more questions? I can't go back and see. I can only get the ones that are up here. I appreciate we had a good showing up rate tonight, which was pretty awesome.
Some suggestions for Thursday's topic?
I think I have a topic already. You'd have to look through it, but Joel, that's a great idea, man. I guess that I just learned something from them. One of the problems is that I had was I was never able to get them to do a FaceTime on it. So that's a great idea. The video, obviously, I guess I wasn't even thinking about that. Do the video. Shit, I just lost my messages. You can hold gross on an internet customer who's already gotten below it. How can you hold gross on an internet customer who's already gotten below invoice quotes? Jeffrey, Beck, unfortunately, brother, it's freaking... Justin, I'll get to your question in a minute. That's one of my favorite. I'm gonna wrap it up on that one, actually. How can you hold growth on internet customers who's already gotten below invoice quotes? That's the problem. Everybody's fucking in the race to the bottom. And with the internet, it's the same shit. Every time, like I can go look right now for a Denali pickup truck and go to 6 different places and get 6 different lower price. I could go lower, 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 lower. It basically comes to, you're basically in that situation. You got it. Like I talked earlier, you just got to take it. If you can get it closed on the price, it's who can get them in front of them. Like who can... who can get the person in front of them to close the deal? You're not going to be able to take them back up and bump gross. I mean, you can try all day long, but I don't feel – I know I was really strong. I couldn't make that happen. I couldn't get it to come up unless I switched them on a truck when they got there, or I bring them in on one thing and I'd switch them, which I'd done, and hold some gross on there, find them something used that was a little more comparable. But usually when they're coming in without knowing their needs, you got to get them in front of you. That's the only way to find out if you're going to hold gross. If they're dead set on buying that vehicle, they're just going to buy that vehicle. Now, I want to touch on this one. Why do managers give away the money when they do a TO? You want to know the truth? The majority of them? Because they're all average salesmen. They're all 6 to 8 car sales guys. And maybe I'm going to make you guys, maybe I'm going to get some people mad at me. They're probably great managers, but they weren't amazing salesmen. They weren't guys doing 30 plus cars a month, because 30, 40, a lot of you guys back here, you guys aren't, I forgot where I was going with that for a second. You guys aren't average salesmen. You guys are committed yourself. So the reason why they were able to blow it out is they go into the deal. Like, I've watched it, man, and I watched other managers go to my other guys, because I never had to get a TO, and they literally don't know how to negotiate. They know how much money's into it. They're already right here. They understand they need to get a deal. They know they're getting pressure from the guy above, so they're going to they're going to beat your balls off, tell you you can't give any price away. You suck. You can't close it. You're weak. They're going to come in. They're going to slash you and tell you you're a pussy. Yeah, you really got that thing done, man. The truth is, and I don't really care, is that the majority of the great sales or great managers are good. They're good task takers. They're good guys that actually, they're good guys that could do the daily follow-ups with the clients. They could go manage the service department, or they could go do all these different things. They weren't exceptional salesmen. So I wouldn't expect any of the guys that I've worked with or I've seen at certain dealers, they didn't get it. And I might be wrong, but it is what it is. Leads have the lowest front-end gross of all leads in our store. All right, guys. Anyone? Oops. I'm going to jump off here. I'm on the deplorables page now. I don't know what happened there. I lost my feed. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up tonight. So we're going to come back. We're going to be here Thursday night. If you guys want some more questions, put them in here. Go ahead and ask some questions in the group. I'm going to be available at some point tomorrow to go ahead and take some phone calls. I want to thank you guys that came this far. Also, we're making some changes within the structure here. I'm going to be doing some more reaching out to try to follow up with you guys, because I want to try to help you. I'm open for any suggestions as far as ways to make it better, okay? Because the idea here is, you guys, I work for you. I want to build as much value in myself, in this group, this community, this movement, these things we're trying to do. Like, when I close my eyes at night and I see it, it's starting with you guys. There's no one else out there. I know this thing's going to be duplicated, but I want to get a jump start, and I want to fucking make it happen because of you guys. So anything that you guys have as far as feedback that you want to put into me, my team, Kevin, Jacob, John, whatever we have, reach out to us, because we want to see you guys succeed. Thank you guys for spending the Tuesday night with me.